Right, welcome everyone to the Simon Show. It is not that positive video, that positive live stream that we all wished of. That celebrating a good old win. It's unfortunately quite a negative live stream, quite a negative video, because there have been some injuries during international duties. And these injuries involve Matthias Vina, Mancini, and Tammy Abraham. 3 players which dominated in these first matches of the season. 3 players which us Roma fans definitely want to see more of. Unfortunately, they did get injured. Now, as you can see from the breaking news below, the doctors have confirmed that it's nothing too risky. It's nothing that dangerous. It's nothing serious. They will be back, and the fact that they have an entire week to reassess, to try and relax those injuries, I strongly believe that we can see both Abraham and Mancini starting on Sunday against Sassuolo. Now, will they be on their top form? I don't know, because as I said before in many videos, I've been saying this a lot, and I'm always right, because this problem has been Roma's main problem for many years. Injuries over injuries over injuries. And, these injuries didn't come when these 3 players were warming up or they were playing for AS Roma. These injuries did come when these 2 players, because Abraham didn't get a call from Southgate, so he was training at Trigoria. So he got injured there, but Matthias Vina and Mancini got injured with their national teams. Mancini in Italy played 2 days ago against Bulgaria, and it ended 1-1. It wasn't that good, but after Italy won the European Championship, it's that terrible match where no one has a clue of why the European champions do not win with Bulgaria. Those crazy matches. It's a 1-1. And I'm not gonna protest. I'm happy about my nation. We are gonna get in a World Cup, unlike many years ago after a terrible match against Sweden. But Mancini got injured and he wasn't playing. That just puts to mind that Roma players, in compared to Inter Milan players, to Juventus players who have a key role in the national team, Mancini is not even starting, and he did get injured. So, that is just the negative note of this start of the season. A season which started the best way possible. We got onto the group stages of the Europa Conference League. We bagged the win against Fiorentina. We bagged the win against Salernitana. It's normal. And it's the fun of having an AS Roma football channel, a channel about the team, following this team. All together as a family, we are the TSS family. We will go through terrible days altogether. Those defeat days, those tremendous injury days. So we need to get our heads ready, because it's going to be a very long season full of matches. There will be injuries. So let's get ready, because the good news about football is, just imagine supporting a team which always wins, no one gets injured. It would be fairly boring. And the beauty of football is this, having good days and bad days. Right. TD5, hey, welcome everyone in the stream. If any new people here, please hit the red button down below. We're trying to get to 1,200 subscribers by the end of this stream. We are 6 subscribers away, so get it done, okay? And also, target of this live stream is, I feel like you guys have the power of surprising me. So I'm gonna go 30 likes by the end of this stream, because the TSS is one strong ass family. Go share the link of this channel to everyone you know. Let them subscribe. Let them like this video. Right, let's get into this live stream, talking about the injuries, talking about how these players can, unfortunately, they're not playing for Roma, can cause some problems to this team. So we'll talk about this. We'll talk about the 3 players, how they performed this season, and also Alex is going to join us in a bit. So stay tuned, because Alex will join us in a bit. and we'll get his view on it. So any questions you want to ask Alex, pop them in the live chat of the stream. Right. Let's start with Mancini. He's as you can see from the right hand side of your screen, he's the top player, the first player. So Mancini, as I said before, got an injury during his performance in international duties. He wasn't playing for Bulgaria, but he did contrast this injury, unfortunately, and it's an injury which is not serious, and the doctors said it. It's a problem to his foot, and he's been carrying this problem since he was an Atalanta player. He has been struck with this injury since, as I repeat, he was an Atalanta player, and last season he was out for some matches because of this goddamn problem to his foot. So medical say it's nothing serious. He will be back for Sassuolo. We've got an entire week to reassess, to relax your muscles, to relax your legs, to relax your bones, whatever you want to call it. So my doubt is not that he will not play for Sassuolo. My big doubt, my big fear is, will he be on form to play well against Sassuolo? Because Smalling is already injured. Mancini is the big leader in defense right now. So, seeing Kumbula and Ibanez play, I don't have anything against them, but they're not experienced, and some tough matches are coming. Look at this. Look at the schedule. This is like the September into October schedule. We've got matches with Sassuolo, who's a dangerous team, Lazio, Juventus, Napoli, Milan. So they'll definitely be back for these matches, but hopefully they'll be back to hitting the good form, Right, let's read some comments, because Mancini is injured, lads. He is injured, but it's nothing serious, so don't you worry. He will play for Sassuolo, but unfortunately he had to leave the Italian national team duties and get back to Rome to relax his leg, to relax his muscles, to relax his foot, because it's been a problem which he has been followed with, persecuted with since quite a long time ago. 1-1 against Bulgaria. Don't worry, you're a top nation. You won the Euros. There's gonna be those types of games in football, definitely. So moving on to Abraham. Abraham is injured, but if one of you guys now would ask me, is out of these three players, which one is the most injured, I would probably say Vina, and I wouldn't say I'm happy to say Vina, because Vina has been a great player in the start of the season, surprised us a lot. He had to take the responsibilities of covering Spinazzola's role. Now, that is a big job, a big responsibility, and he did that. Now, let's remember that this guy is coming from the complete opposite side of the world, from a completely different league, the Brazilian league. So, I got surprised by Vina a lot. And Vina will be a good key player, and he will learn a lot with Spinazzola as soon as he's back from his injury. So out of these three players, if, for example, Gabo Studios now asks me, is out of these three players, which of these players had the most serious injury, I would probably say Vina, even though it's not that serious again. So we're lucky, because these three injuries are not serious injuries, but they are injuries. And I did live stream this because we are going to probably see Vina, Abraham, and Mancini playing against Sassuolo, but not on their biggest day. It's not going to be their biggest day. Now, I might be wrong here. Anything could happen in football, but that is what I expect. That's what I psychologically expect from that match. I don't even know if Vina will play that match. Mancini and Abraham will definitely play, but Vina had a muscle injury with his Uruguayan. Is that what you call the Uruguayan national team? With Uruguay FC, let's call it. So he got a call, and it's great to see. He got a call with a nation who won many World Cups a long time ago. A nation which is a very experienced manager, which has, Cavani and Suarez up front. And another positive thing, in my opinion, is that these international duties, it's always a risk sending a lot of your players to their national teams. As much as it's great when it comes to personal levels, personal records, it's always, that it gives you that heart attack, because you're like, hopefully they won't get injured. Hopefully they won't get injured. And us Roma fans, we've seen Zaniolo getting injured in September against Holland with Italy, and that injury made him miss the entire season. So I have a fear of international duties as a Roma fan. And this is exactly why, because players always get injured. Now we're lucky here because these injuries are not bad. Abraham didn't get a call from England. He got hurt during a training session. Once again, it's a problem with his knee. He didn't break anything. He didn't break any bones. It's just, a good wound on his knee. Probably because he banged it against another player. So Mancini has the least serious injury, if you ask me. Abraham will probably be second, and Vina is probably the one with the most serious injury. Now, as you can see the heat maps over here. Now, this is something I really like talking about because heat maps, ladies and gentlemen, explain quite a lot about how a player moves around the pitch, how this player bonds with other players, and how the injuries for these three players, for example, could mean and could cause trouble for Roma in these matches. We've got Sassuolo, Verona, Udinese, Lazio, Empoli, Juventus, Napoli, Cagliari, Milan, and Venezia, and that's the September/October, schedule. But starting with Mancini, as you can see, top right corner, Mancini is someone we can see who loves playing around the right-hand side of the pitch, and we are seeing a lot of red dots, a lot of red positions, and that just puts to mind that Mancini in his defensive habitat is a very aggressive player. He's everywhere. Look at that. Mancini is a center back, and sometimes we have got a lot, and I mean a lot, of red dots, red places around the center, and that just puts to mind that Mancini is a very aggressive player who will help the team, will fight until the very end. And Mancini, as I said before, in my opinion, will definitely play against Sassuolo. But let's just compare this situation. Let's imagine Mancini would have had a way more serious injury, right? What would Mourinho choose now? Because Smalling is probably getting back from his injury, but he's not going to be on his greatest form. Let's imagine Mancini being way more injured than he is now and not being able to play against the match against Sassuolo. That would be a problem. And that is definitely going to be a problem throughout this season, because there are going to be occasions where both Smalling and Mancini will be injured. That is when you put Kumbula and Ibanez. Ibanez has been great, don't get me wrong. He has been one of the players which surprised me the most. But I have to say that a lot of it is because of Mancini, because he plays next to a very experienced player. If you put Ibanez next to Kumbula, it will be a lot of trouble, and I definitely don't want to see that. So we are lucky to say that Mancini will play against Sassuolo. His injury is not that bad. It's just a wound on his feet, and happy days. Now, Abraham, looking at his heat map, obviously he has less red spots than Mancini because, he's less aggressive in some places, in some around the pitch, but he's definitely, we have the reddest dots in around the box. That puts to mind that Abraham is a great goal scorer, and we've seen that. Now, we had a bet in the watch along against Salernitana, me, Alex, and the subscribers watching, and I think I said Abraham will score 15 goals, but will have many contributions, many assists. Alex, I think, said around 18 goals. That's a good question. In the live chat, everyone here, let's play this game. Comment in the live chat how many goals Abraham will score this season. If you missed, if you missed the watch along for Salernitana, head over in the live chat and comment your prediction of how many goals Abraham will score this season. I'm gonna say probably like I said 15 goals, but I think you'll have many contributions. And now talking about Vina, look at him running down that line. It's so important. Look at those red spots. He runs down that line, and he is probably not gonna play the match against Sassuolo, and that would probably mean, now I'm not sure if he'll be back for it. He might be back, it's a muscle problem, so it's definitely more serious than the other two players. But I still think Calafiori will probably play the match against Sassuolo for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't see Mourinho risking Vina, especially when you look at the schedule we have. Sassuolo is an important match, but it's not one of the most important. Imagine risking Vina, then he gets way injured, and he'll skip matches against Lazio and all of these top clubs. So I would definitely rest him, even though he's back from his injury. I would definitely rest Vina against Sassuolo. I would probably play Calafiori. Now, Calafiori got a call from the Italian national team under 21, and he's been performing well. Running, and that is what left backs and right backs do at Roma. Cores up runs, Spinazzola, oh, he's a train. So I can't wait for him to be back. Vina has been surprising us all at the start of the season. And what do we have? Calafiori, we haven't really seen Calafiori. He played some friendly matches, not many, real matches. But it's a good. You need to try these players, right? He's a young player. I think you'll have great future. I think he'll have an incredible future with Roma and with Mourinho, but he has a lot of potentials. And he's been another very unlucky player. He broke his ACL and all of his ligaments around that. He had a terrible injury, absolute terrible injury a few years ago when he was playing with the Academy of Roma. And he's a very, very, very injury-prone player. But that doesn't mean that Mourinho will never try him. In fact, I will probably start him for the match against Sassuolo. He will surprise us, and he's one of those players which will probably bang an incredible goal once in a while. Lorenzo P is saying 17 goals from Abraham. Emmanuel 1000 is saying, I say 20 goals this season. 20 goals is a lot. Hopefully he does. I'm not gonna lie. 20 goals would probably mean that 20 goals is double the amount of goals Dzeko scored last season in the Serie A. But, someone scoring 20 goals, I think you'll have a lot of contributions. So if we're all saying Abraham is having 17, 15, 20 goals, imagine also the contributions he could bring, the bonds he could build with other players, and then he can have some incredible assists as well. I think you'll have 25 goals and assists, both. Because the match against Fiorentina, he was the assist boy. In the match against Salernitana, he was an assist boy, a triangulation boy, and a knuckleball boy. An incredible goal he scored. So I expect a lot from Abraham, to be fair. Someone was saying Shomurodov injured in the chat. Frankly, I didn't hear about Shomurodov being injured, but Shomurodov being injured, the only positive view about it would probably be Borja Mayoral. Borja Mayoral would probably be the only player happy about it, because that means that if Abraham needs to rest, or if Abraham is not that fit to play for these matches, Borja Mayoral can score. And Borja Mayoral is a good attacker. He's someone who Real Madrid, that bastard of Florentino Perez, that bastard he is, wanted to break the loan between Borja Mayoral and Roma to get him back at Real Madrid, which makes no absolute sense because Real Madrid are never going to start Borja Mayoral. Fiorentina was interested in him. He's a perfect player that you sub in and he scores. And we've seen that with Fonseca. So don't get me wrong and say that that's not the case. Because Borja Mayoral, if Roma is in a European Championship this year, a Europa Conference League, we need to thank Boykan Mayoral, as well as other players such as Villar. But Boykan Mayoral had a great spirit during the course of last season, because it was about January, February, those months, those halfway of the season months. And, Dzeko was having trouble with Fonseca, lots of the disagreements, and many players wanted to defend Dzeko, so these players turned against Fonseca, so they played badly on purpose to try and get Fonseca sacked. But many players went against Dzeko as well. It was confusion, in brackets, confusion state at AS Roma. Boykan Mayoral just ignored this confusion, and he was the goal scorer at Roma for a long period of time. For the month, I think it was January, February, March, he was great because he took this team on his shoulders and he performed and he bagged the goals. And if it wasn't for Boykan Mayoral, Sassuolo, the team we're facing on Sunday, would probably be in a Europa Conference League this year. And Sassuolo, that just puts to mind that Sassuolo is a very dangerous club. They sold Locatelli, and I think he's an absolute bowler. Anyone who watched the Euro this summer could probably agree with that. They had a very experienced, a very not winning mentality, but top mentality, I don't want to lose manager, De Zerbi, who in my opinion just has ruined his career. Going from Sassuolo, going from a dream almost coming to reality, almost bringing this club in a Europa Conference League, and then he randomly goes and manages Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine, where they probably dominate every year. That, in my opinion, is how a manager could exactly ruin his managing career. He should have stayed at Sassuolo, and he would have probably gotten, if not in it, very close in a Europa Conference League spot as well, because Sassuolo have got some very good players. Berardi, anyone who watched the Euros, Berardi will be their main player on Sunday. They have some very young players, Raspadori, Boga. They've got some very fast-moving players, which could cause a lot of trouble for Roma's defense. And that just puts to mind that if Mancini is not fit, Smalling is not fit, playing with Kumbula in defense could be quite risky and quite a bad decision, seeing the fact that Sassuolo, in my opinion, are a dangerous club. Now, they changed manager. They aren't that good anymore, because I think, a big part of that was the manager. The manager was insane. De Zerbi was actually close into joining Roma when Fonseca was really, really, really about to get sacked. So that's it. Hopefully we win on Sunday. Tough match, as I said, but I think that will come this week. Stay tuned for predicted 11 from me and Alex, because they're a tough club, as I said, to face. And I think we need the greatest players for this match. Obviously, the derby is coming up. Juventus is coming up. Milan is coming up. Napoli is coming up. Now, I read somewhere this morning. Let me find this, because I don't want to say some random stuff. Roma will start as soon as the international duties are over. Where was it? There we go. Roma will start the Tour de Force. This will be a very tough match, because a very tough part of the season, because Roma are going to play 22 matches in 102 days, and that includes these matches we can see on your left hand side of the screen, other Serie A matches, and the Europa Conference League matches as well. We've got CSKA Moscow, Zorya Litwanske, a Ukrainian club, and Bodo Glimt from Norway. So, when clubs start these big tour de forces, these big, big part of the season where they'll play a lot of matches in a short amount of time, I think Mourinho, we have understood in these first matches that Mourinho is someone who likes to play the same players every time. And that is exactly what Mourinho should do, because top players deserve a spot. But in these parts of the season where Roma will play a lot of matches in a short amount of time, I strongly believe Mourinho should change some stuff, because playing the same players every time could mean injuries, could mean tiredness. But that's what Mourinho needs to do, and I'm gonna shut up. Right, from any important injuries from the opponents? I read Giroud contracted the virus, but he'll definitely be back for Roma because the match against Milan is in 1, 2, 3. It's in October, so he'll be back from that. I read Dybala's good at Juventus, but he's not that fit, And Dybala, no Ronaldo, Dybala not being that fit, the only player which could put Juventus in a good position in these first matches would probably be Federico Chiesa. He has a lot of responsibilities now. So I think, I haven't read many injuries. I think Roma's is the club who had the most injuries up to now. I mean, are they injuries? They are injuries, because Mancini has a foot injury, Abraham has a knee, his knee hurts, and Vina has a muscle problem. So they are injuries. And I've read some comments in this live chat saying they're not injuries. Shut the fuck up, Simon. What does that mean? They are injuries. And I don't care if an injury is a nose problem or an ear problem or a broken ACL. It is still an injury, and it is something which would avoid you from being on the greatest form. So we'll see how it goes. But Alex should join us in a bit. Let's see where Alex is up to, because we'll get Alex's right. Before Alex joins, comment in the live chat. Comment in the live chat some questions you want to ask me, some questions you want to ask Alex about Roma, about... Oh, I've got something good to talk about. We have some good news, because as I was live streaming, what was it, last week? When did the transfer market end? It was Monday or Tuesday. I had a good old ramble against Pastore, against Nzonzi, because they're disrespecting this club. They are not lowering their wages. They're not playing. They're causing trouble. Nzonzi was even at a fancy restaurant in front of the Colosseum watching PSG when you're a Roma player. So we've got some good news about that. We have some very good news. And these news would probably, push a defensive midfielder very close to Roma during the January transfer market window. And these transfer market news are that Pastore found an agreement with Roma. Roma paid him to leave, and he left, and he's now an Elche player. So let's see what Elche is doing, right? Elche is 15th in La Liga. Now, Pastore, to suit a club like Elche, definitely needs to lower his wage, because I personally cannot see Elche paying a lot for Pastore. Elche are probably one of the weakest clubs in La Liga, right? One of the non-richest clubs in La Liga. So I think Pastore decided to lower his wage, and by quite a frankly amount of money, because I can't see Elche paying the amount Roma paid for Pastore. So Pastore is a new Elche player. Everyone, tune in this round of applause, because we have said goodbye to a very useless player. So that's good. And talking about Nzonzi, which is the other bastard of the two, the bastard duo, Nzonzi is very close onto joining Al Rayyan, and he finally understood that clubs in Qatar do not lack money. They've got petrol, they've got oil, they've got petrol, they've got oil. And he probably understood, and to be fair, it wouldn't have taken a genius to understand this. A 3-year-old probably have understood this too. Than Nzonzi, if everything he cares about is money, and everything he cares about is finding an agreement with Roma so Roma can pay him to leave, He finally understood that clubs in Qatar are probably free onto paying him even more than what Roma pays. So Nzonzi is a genius. Congratulations. He understood this. He got a degree in maths, probably. But Nzonzi is close onto joining Al Rayyan. Now, he's probably going to earn a lot of money. And he's one of those players. In fact, Nzonzi is one of those exact good players which could benefit a club like Al Rayyan, who no one has ever heard of. So Mourinho, Nzonzi, another thing he tried to do during this weird transfer market session, after the transfer market session, is that he wanted to ask Mourinho if Mourinho could start him during some matches. Now, I still need to figure out if that was actually what he wanted or if that was just to bloody take Mourinho's ass, to wind him up, to disrespect this club even more. That is something I still need to understand. But this guy has the courage to go to Mourinho and say, can I play some matches? And I find that absolutely ridiculous. I mean, is that ridiculous? Comment in the live chat, because you know that fans hate you. You know that you're hated by probably your entire teammates. You know Mourinho doesn't like you. And what do? You ask Mourinho if you can play some matches? What the hell is your problem? So Nzonzi is very, very close onto joining Al Rayyan. And I'll be very curious to update you guys on how much he will earn there. If he goes, He's been refusing a lot of these offers. So we'll see if he refuses this one as well. But journalists say he's very, very close onto joining Al Rayyan. Alex sent him an email. He'll join as soon as he's done with some duties. And up to now, we should do? Let's read some comments. And, it's been a good week. It has been. My school starts on Monday, which is a bummer. But, life is life. Right, let's read some comments. Prediction for Italy against Switzerland. I think Italy will get back winning, I think the match against Bulgaria was that classic match after a team won the European, that they're probably still thinking about that lifting the cup, that they weren't paying attention to Bulgaria. But, it's an important match on Sunday for Italy, because if Italy lose, which first of all, Mancini doesn't want to lose, because if he doesn't lose, and that means getting a draw as well, he would equalize the Spanish national team record and Brazil's record of a non-losing streak. So that is very, very, very good. And Mancini is a very good manager. I think Mancini is one of the best managers out there. So I think Italy, I think they'll win, because if Italy play like they played the European Championship, they'll batter each club. But they need to play like that. And after winning a Euro 2020, your head is still thinking about those incredible moments that you might get carried away and not win that match. But it's an important match because Italy need to avoid getting second, because they will get those deja vus of not getting in a World Cup. Getting out against, Sweden. And that was possibly one of the worst moments in the history of football. Now, we have to say that Ventura was the coach. And, Mancini is on another level. So, really, really congrats to him. He has built a good old squad. I think you'll win. I think Italy will win 2-1. Italy are not a club which batter teams. Actually, not 2-1, 2-0. Because if Donnarumma, Chiellini and Bonucci play well, then no one will get past these three players. And that still puts a good old thought in my head to why Pochettino is choosing Navas before Donnarumma. Right, let's read some comments. Simon, do you remember when Mourinho back in 2017 in the Europa League final played against Ajax, where he was fascinated by Kluivert and told it, yep, I remember that, and that was probably the big surprise of this transfer market. Mourinho not wanting Justin Kluivert and telling him to leave. So that was a surprise. But Kluivert is a player which doesn't like pressure, and if you don't like pressure, if you're not good with coping with pressure, you shouldn't move to Roma, because the Roma fans, the Roma community put so much pressure on these players, and sometimes I think it's exaggerated, but fans are what build football, and obviously fans want the best out of every single player, so I understand that. But Kluivert is definitely a player which loves more calm clubs. We've seen him at Leipzig and he was fire. We've seen him at Nice and he was fire. We've seen him at Ajax and he was good. So I think he's a player which is very well adapted to these small clubs which maybe want to try and get in a Europa League spot, and not clubs like, I'm not saying Roma is a big club. I mean, that is probably what us Roma fans want Mourinho to convert us in, but up to now, Roma is not a top club. You know, they're lacking a trophy since a lot of time. So we'll see if it's the good year. Right, lads and lasses, before Alex will join us in a bit, let me remind you that if you're new here, please hit the red button down below. We are almost about to get, we're 7 subscribers away from 1,200 subscribers. If we can get to 1,200 subscribers by the end of this stream, it would be amazing. But that means that every one of you guys needs to get your mom's account, your mom's phone, your brother's phone, your friend's phone, if you're with your friends, and make them subscribe to The Simon Show. Or any new people here, hit the red button down below. Also, we're 2 likes away from 30 likes, so please, let's get that done as well. Now, Gabo Studio is saying that Ukraine are leading against France. That's bad news for Veretout. Poor Veretout. He got a call from Deschamps, and France didn't win the last match, or not winning this match. But that's the beauty of having players which aren't too good, but play for a national team. That is probably the best combination a club would ask. Because Veretout now, he's playing next to Pogba, he's playing next to all of these players. I think he can get so much experience from that it would be incredible. So I'm very curious to see how Veretout goes. And Garros, let us know if he enters, if he gets subbed in, because, you know, following Roma, being a Roma fan, having a Roma channel doesn't always mean that the players need to perform well for Roma as well, because all the Roma players need to perform well for their clubs as well. So that's a very good sign. Thanks to everyone. Love your support. I was hating on Roma throughout the preseason, and honestly, you guys have surprised me. But why hate on this club? That's what I don't understand. Why do people hate Roma? I want a reason for that. Unless you're a Lazio fan, I don't understand you hating on Roma. I know there will be many Mourinho haters who are hating Roma right now. And we've got many on the Simon Show, I'll tell you that. But, you know, why hate a Roma? I mean, if the derby is the 26th, I want you guys to be ready for the derby, to be ready for the watch-along. Because that watch-along, which will be the 26th of September, Roma against Lazio, is the most important match of the season. I want you guys, Roma fans, to be ready for that. I want you guys to prepare for the watch-along, bring a Roma scarf, a Roma jersey if you have it, and we have to celebrate all together if Roma wins. Because Lazio doesn't deserve an absolute crap. And if you hate on Roma, why don't you hate on Lazio? Lazio is worse than Roma. Benzema and Pogba are preparing themselves. 1-1. Oh no, the goal is retracted. Right, we're waiting for Alex in the meantime. Anyone ask some comments in the live chat about Roma, about whatever you want, and I'll answer. Just before waiting for Alex. But any new people who are joining in, Mancini, Abraham, and Vina are not on their greatest forms. They did have some injuries. Mancini's foot hurts, and it's a problem he's been having since a lot of time. Abraham's knee has a problem. It's not a ligament or anything. It's just he banged the knee onto another player's knee, which is always painful. So Mancini and Abraham will probably be back against Sassuolo. Vina has a question mark on it because he has a muscle problem, and muscle problems are always way longer to reassess. But the doctors said that when doctors did say that everything is fine. His muscle ligament didn't break. So, it depends what you want to call them. If you want to call them injuries, call them injuries. If you don't want to call them injuries, I'll still call them injuries because they are injuries, and it will probably mean Vina not being in the best form for the match against Sassuolo if he does play. So when I said hating on Roma, I meant I didn't think that they were this good. Well, yeah, man, to be fair, everyone didn't expect that. I wasn't expecting Roma being this level, It's a bit too early to say this. And I always get myself back, and I always try to stop saying these things because it is too early in the season to say this. Especially it's too early to say this when Roma performed well, very well, but with small clubs. So as soon as Roma wins a good old match, the derby, it's all of our dreams, Then we can say that Mourinho had a very positive factor to Roma. He was a very good factor at it. And I'm not saying Mourinho's not good here. He's amazing. He is the best manager ever. But, we need time. We need time. It's a bit too early to say that. But if you were asking me, I think I wasn't expecting Roma to be like this at all. Simon and Alex, do you guys think Villar can impress and get a starting spot alongside Veretout? I personally think he has a lot of quality. I think he has incredible qualities. And just like Mayoral last year, I think Roma being in a Europa Conference League spot will be... It was Villar and Borja Mayoral were key to that. And Villar, unfortunately, is going on to a lot of hate. He's a very young player, which doesn't deserve this. But many Roma fans who don't know anything about football are saying to Villar, leave this club. We could have bought Zakaria. You're absolutely useless. You can't say that to a player which is good, He's good. He's an incredible touch. He has those... He gives us Roma fans those Iniesta deja vus. And once again, it's a bit too early to say this. He's very young. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But the fact that Mourinho and Mourinho told him to sit on the stands during the match against Salernitana and not on the bench means something. And that something probably means that Villar doesn't convince Mourinho. And it's choices. It's personal choices. I'm not going to blame anyone here. But I think Villar could easily find a spot next to Veretout. Especially now that Roma didn't buy Zakaria. Cristante is a weird player. He plays well, but he plays bad. So he's good, I think, and he does deserve a spot next to Veretout, in my opinion. 1-1, here we go. Fabrizio Romano, Gabo Studios, aka Fabrizio Romano. 1-1 between Ukraine and France. Right, if Alex doesn't join us in a bit, though, we'll probably get Alex in another live stream in a couple of days because maybe he's busy right now. But any other questions you guys have, let me know in the live chat, and I'll answer to them, because in the meantime that we're waiting for Alex. Now, Fiorentina ain't a small club. To be honest, they are a bigger club than Roma in terms of history. Even though they're trash now, they're building a good team. I say they're a mediocre club. They've got interesting players, but the only key player is Vlahovic over there. Right, let's see. Let's see if we hit 1,200. Nope. Still 7 subscribers away. Lads, come on, get it done. 7 subscribers. And yeah, so Roma do have a tough end of September, start to October, because they've got, as I said before, 22 games in 102 days. And we're starting on Sunday with Sassuolo. Let's get 3 points so we can tick that. Then we've got Verona, who are an interesting club, but sold their main player to Lazio. Udinese, Lazio, the big day, Empoli, Juventus. Then we've got Juventus and Napoli, both consecutive. So, yeah. What are your top 4 for this season? I think I'm going with Juventus, because I just can't see Juventus not winning the Serie A. That means I just can't see Juventus not going in a Champions League spot. I think Juventus and Inter Milan will definitely. And then it's a big fight between Roma, Lazio, Milan and Napoli. However, from the start of this season, I would probably say that the 2 Roman clubs would nick it and get in a Champions League spot, and AC Milan and Napoli would get in a Europa League spot. It's bad to see Lazio in a Champions League, but as long as Roma is in it as well, it's all good. What is the name of Mourinho's pizza? Oh, do you mean pizza Mourinho was eating on the way back? Let me see. I'll probably have a picture of it. I think it was margarita. Yep, it was margarita. Hi, Zoko Gaming. Welcome to the stream. I understand, because I really want Zakaria too, but in the meantime, I think Villar can impress. Definitely. If Mourinho regenerates this guy, if Mourinho rebuilds him after all of these abuse he's been having on social media, and it does affect you psychologically. So if Mourinho is good in that and believes in Villar, then Villar will have a good, very good AS Roma season. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I subbed to this channel for a long time. Liverpool fan. Liverpool's performing. They're coming from a 1-1 draw against Chelsea, if I'm right. So they are performing as well. They're a great club. Van Dijk is back. But we think about Roma here. And I still have that Roma against Liverpool threat in my throat, because Trent Alexander-Arnold hit that with his arm, with his hand, and Roma should have gotten in a Champions League final. So that's the only reason why I hate Liverpool. But I like Liverpool as a club, as a player. Obviously, Mo Salah was a Roma fan, was a Roma player. Players to watch out tomorrow: Chiesa and Zuber for Switzerland. I think if Chiellini, if Bonucci, if Donnarumma perform well, then the Switzerland are not gonna go and are not gonna score even one goal. And because Chiellini and Bonucci are so good. Wow, I had Inter first, Milan third, Atalanta fourth, and Napoli fifth. No, Roma fifth, Napoli sixth. Juve, I think Juve are trash now. They have downgraded their squad from last season. I don't look like a team. I've been hearing a lot of people saying this, to be fair, but trust me, Juventus is Juventus. They've got a great manager under the name of Allegri, very experienced manager, knows how to win the Serie A even without Ronaldo. He's won the Serie A with the players Juventus has now, but without Ronaldo. So I think everyone is getting that picture in their heads of, you know, Ronaldo leaving, Juventus not having Ronaldo. That doesn't mean anything, because Juventus have won a lot without Ronaldo. In fact, Juventus have probably won more without Ronaldo than with Ronaldo. You know, so The fact that Juventus had a bad start doesn't mean anything to me, because Juventus have a lot of time to catch back, and I think they remain the favourites of winning the Serie A. But I could be wrong here. I think Atalanta are a great shout onto top 4, but Gasperini, just like Klopp, he plays in the same way with the same players every time, and clubs understand him. Atalanta was living the dream, a big dream called Champions League a few years back, but now teams know how Gasperini plays. Napoli, good shout. Spalletti is a bastard manager with a disagreement with Totti, so I hope Napoli don't get far just because of Spalletti. And yeah, Inter and Juventus remain my favourites, to be fair. Alisson Becker as well. Simon, Serie A when Allegri was here wasn't as competitive as now. Exactly. That just puts to mind that Allegri knows how to win the Serie A, and he will cause a lot of trouble. He wants to get in a top 4. He wants to win the Serie A. So this obstacle of Juventus called Empoli, because they beat them at home, to me doesn't mean absolutely anything. Because to me, Juventus still remain the favourites onto winning the Serie A. Right, I think Alex will not join us today, unfortunately, lads and lasses. We'll get Alex this week. There will be a lot of great content. My birthday's coming up this week, 8th of September. It's on Wednesday, so we'll have a chat during my birthday. We'll have a live stream, but onto that, we'll think about the match against Sassuolo. Me and Alex will give our predicted 11, Mourinho's analysis of his press conference, and then the big day on Sunday with the watch along and the match reaction on Monday. What do you think of Joel Matip? Good. He improves Liverpool's defense by quite a fair amount of time. And yes, lads and lasses, if you're new here, please hit the red button down below. We are trying to get to 1,200 subscribers. We are exactly 7 subscribers away. Get it done right now. I'm going to end this stream, and in 2 hours, I'm going to check my phone, and I want to see 1,200 subscribers. So get it done right now as soon as I end the stream. No Alex today, but there will be plenty of content with Alex as well. Jules Cools, how are you, my friend? Simon, explain why Romero and Golini left to sit on the bench for Europa Conference League, Tottenham, instead of sharing in the Champions League for Atalanta. Good shout. And yeah, lads and lasses, right, let's read last comments. How do you already get all of these subscribers? It's the TSS. They're one strong ass family, and they need to continue to be this. Jules Cools, tell them to subscribe as well. Simon, are you streaming Italy's game tomorrow? Unfortunately, I'm not, but that doesn't mean that no one needs to watch that match. Everyone here needs to watch that match, because Zaniolo, Pellegrini, we got to see them and how they perform with the Italian national team as well. There are 2 players which missed out the Euros, so they want to get back Mancini's attention, and I think tomorrow will be their day. So everyone here, I'm not going to live stream it, but you guys should follow it, should watch that match if you have a chance into watching it, because I think it will be very, very interesting to see. Pellegrini or Zaniolo, big shout. Zaniolo has a lot of potentials. Pellegrini is the captain right now. He's the spirit of this club, and that's why I think Pellegrini nicks it for me in a bit, just up to now. But yeah, lads and lasses, me and Alex will catch you this week. Predicted 11 for Sassuolo. Watch along on Sunday. Match reaction on Monday. Mourinho's press conference. Analysis. A lot of live streams. Stay tuned. If you're new here, please subscribe. Like this video. Share with your friends and your family. Tough schedule. Look at that. Sassuolo, Verona, Udinese, Lazio, Empoli, Juventus, Napoli, Cagliari, Milan and Venezia. Mancini, Abraham and Vina had some injuries. Nothing serious. Mancini and Abraham will probably be back for Sassuolo. Vina will probably rest for Sassuolo. But that will come onto our predicted 11 for Sassuolo. I'll catch you in a bit. Good night, everyone, and take care.